Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the ShadeTree Pro. I put a video up on my YouTube, which I call my master class, which I'm basically breaking down, kind of what I think is being measured, what I understand to be measured in the golf swing, that is get with this concept of thinking that the swing is from the ground up. And as I said before, you can swing up from the ground up if you choose to. That's on you. I'm not telling anybody not to do it. I'm just offering you a different perspective, and my perspective is more conducive to what's really happening in the golf swing. As I said before, or I said in the video, I said if you got rid of the shoulders, got rid of the shoulder girdle, and I mean you could turn this body cavity, you could turn it as much as you want, but you're never going to hit the golf ball because the shoulder girdles houses the swing, and the hands and arms is what swings it, and that is superior, and that's just non-negotiable. And as I said about the data and why people are, because from the beginning, as I talked in one video, the swing has always been taught, turn the hips, ground up, all of that, because turning the barrel, whatever the deal was. And I don't think nobody really took the time. Maybe been a few that took the time to really break down a difference between the two. Like I said in my video on top down, Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. I don't think nobody really, like I said, has broken it down as well as I have. There's people who talk about the grip, but nobody's really broken it down like the dead fingers, in which I have, to make it a separate entity in a form of its own. So when I talk about top down and I talk about swinging the golf club, now we all talk about, the golf swing is in its essence or whatever is really not like a baseball swing. Well, the true fact is a swing is a swing. We always say that, hey, we're swinging up here, but guess what? There's a lot of people that swing that baseball trying to catch that ball low. So here's the thing that I want people to understand. If I'm standing up here and here that pitch comes, because this is a video based on where I told you that, and one of the guys helped me, understand a little bit of something. Now, take your clock and turn your clock to where you're facing the back of the clock, so 1 o'clock will be over here. So, so I get a correction on that. So if I'm hitting a baseball, and here's that baseball coming, I'm not trying to get my hands way past the ball to bring this around. All I'm doing is getting my hands in what I call the real cocking position, to where they are, that when that ball comes, in a sense, or whatever, this is already moving, boom, that now all of a sudden I can let that go past my hands. Well, that's at this angle. Well, if I put it on the ground, and here comes a ball that somebody's setting up here, and they throw me a fastball. Will Clark was great at hitting low balls or whatever. Guess what? Boom. I'm still not trying to get my hands past it to do it. I'm sitting here back here, boom, and letting the hands, in a sense, come back. And I think there's a scientific term, and I just can't remember it off right now, or whatever, that actually has the hands pulling back, in a sense. So when I'm sitting here, one of my drills that I like to do here is that I think this is just a low pitch in baseball being thrown to me, and all I'm doing is pulling the hands back and letting the club go through. Just like a low pitch in baseball coming to me. I'm not trying to do anything, letting the body react, top down, allowing the body to react. Missed that one. Top down, letting the body react. And to tell the truth, when I start doing those, and that's just a drill I do to really work on, getting the feel for, quote unquote, oh, let me get this up here. Oh, get up there, baby. That's a drill that I do, basically, just to feel the sensation of releasing the club. And when I do that, it helps my chipping, it helps my putting, it helps my pitching, it helps my driver, it helps everything. Because all I'm doing is feeling the ability to release the club to where the club face, boom, just goes through the strike, and I'm not dragging my body around. Now, don't get me wrong, as I said before, your body is reacting, but guess what, people? When the body or something is reacting, that means we don't have to think about it. So now I've got one simple thing, as I said to people before. Now, if I put my arms up in the air, and the way the brain works, as I said before, the brain is very, very simple. I mean, it's complex, of course, but yet it's simple movements. So if I put my hands up in the air, and let's go like this, and we only really want to work on think about one thing. So all of a sudden now, I turn my hips. And no matter how much I turn my hips, my brain has created that action for me to turn my hips. And then all of a sudden, my brain, whether it's the right brain or left brain, regardless if you pull with your left arm, your right arm, or whatever, is it your left brain, is your right brain? And then all of a sudden, one of those has got a function to bring the arms down. You see what I mean? And that's where the confusion comes in. Because then all of a sudden you start feeling like the arms coming down, and then you're turning your brain on and trying to make your hips move. It's a never-ending story, and I know you all out there have experienced that. So when I set up with top down, see, I only got one simple thought, and it's the simplicity of gravity. The scap goes up and comes back down. And the body, and I don't have to think about what the body's doing, because when that scap drops, I can move as fast as I want. I can turn my hips to the cow come. I can do whatever I want, but long as I get that sequence to where scap up and bring it down. And you can work on your rhythms, your speed, and as I said before, even if it's in baseball, and that pitch is coming, and it's a low pitch off the ground, I'm not trying to do this a la slices, blocks. All I'm doing is trying to get it to where, if I'm in this move in baseball, that means that scap's up, and then all of a sudden, guess what? It comes down. And that's all I'm creating. And that, people, is the difference when they talk about the data and what's being measured. Unfortunately, the data is not wrong, but what's being measured in itself is wrong. That measurement is only based on trying to prove and show that the swing is from the ground up. And the measurements are not showing that the shoulder girdle is superior to the pelvis girdle. And the movement of the arms is what makes the body react in the method or in the way that I just described it, both physiological, psychological, neurological. It's just simple and easy once you get the understanding of what it is that you're trying to do. And me, I'm trying to teach you all top down. And understand this one very, very important thing, as I've said to many of people. You do not have to look at it. You don't have to try to learn it. But all I told you from the beginning, top down is an option. And that's what growing the game is about. Giving people options, giving people information to help them improve in the best way possible. And I don't think there's no other videos or no other philosophy that's written out there that challenges the philosophy from the ground up as I have done with my top down. People, I'm glad you all enjoy it. Once again, thanks for the gratuities. I mean, as I told you all before, I just can't be more happier than what I keep receiving. As I said before, my videos are free for you to learn, because I'm trying to, as I tell people, top down is a movement for improvement. We teaching you how to turn 4 shots into 3. And if you want to do that, you got to get with me. Charles Calhoun, aka the ShadeTree Pro, always good golfing.